What's up, guys? Coach JC here, and I gotta be honest with you. I always bring you videos to coach you and give you some great information, but today I'm here to rant a little. And I'm a coach, so I'm gonna give you some coaching keys and some points to leave with. That's what I do. That's who I am. But you know what? I gotta rant a little. I'm here to talk about doctors. And I posted this on my Facebook earlier. I was communicating with some friends that are in the industry, and I'm real disappointed. I don't get sick often, and I'm gonna tell you my quick story here. I don't get sick often, but I had something I was coming down with, and I could not shake it. And I always go the holistic route. I go to Whole Foods. I have my routine. It works for me. But I started to notice, that I started to feel it in my chest, and it just, your body, and it wasn't normal for me, and it went on for about a week to 10 days, and my wife started to get concerned. So I broke down and I went to the doctor. I normally don't go to the doctor. Now listen, I don't have anything against doctors. I'm not here to talk about the inadequacies of doctors and MDs and DOs and nutrition and health and wellness and optimal wellness. I'm not here to talk about any of that. I respect doctors for what they do. But me personally, I don't go to the doctor just for anything. I've been to the doctor twice in my entire life. But I broke down, I went to the doctor, and here's where the story gets interesting. Here's why I'm ranting a little. So I get to the doctor and I tell him what symptoms that's going on. He checks me. He said, "You know what? I don't like the way your chest sounds. You might be coming down with pneumonia. What have you been doing?" So I tell him the whole story. And he said, "Hey, we got to kill this quick. It's not looking real good. It's just I'm hearing it in your back, and they have all the tests they do." And he just said, "We can't let it progress." I said, "All right, doc. So what do you want to give me?" I knew he was going to give me some antibiotics. I didn't know if I was going to break down and take them. And he finally prescribed me antibiotics. So I leave. I go to Walgreens. Me and my wife pick up the antibiotics. First off, the antibiotics are $60 with my insurance. So I don't know if my insurance is that bad or antibiotics and prescription medicine just went up that much. But anyway, make a long story short, $60. So I break down, me and my wife get them, and I'm like, oh man, I'm going to take antibiotics. Then I'm whining and complaining about $60 on antibiotics. I'm like, this is horrible. So I get this antibiotic. Now, let me go back a little. At the doctor's office, when the doctor prescribed me, I said, "What's the side effects with this? What's the deal?" He said, "Well, normal side effects. They tell you everything, the normal side effects, headaches, diarrhea, everything that they talk about in prescription medicine." And then he says, and some tendon, you might have some tendon discomfort. If your tendons start to ache or bother you, hey, just call me, let me know. So I'm like, hey, no big deal. They probably have to say that. So I pick up this antibiotic. I go home. I start to do actually I took one first day. I start to do my own research. Okay, looking up this antibiotic, I start to see, on the bottle, it's called Avelox. Okay, Avelox. So I look it up, start to know some things, and I'm like, man, this is kind of crazy. This thing's all over the internet. This is in its class. I'm going to tell you right here, I'm reading it on the internet. Now, we believe everything the internet says. No, but anyway, I did a lot of research on this. Check this out. It's in a class of antibiotics called fluoroquinolone. I think that's how you pronounce it. I have no idea. I don't even know how to pronounce these drugs. So I started to do some research on that, and the tendon discomfort that this doctor tells me about, I start to pull up all these lawsuits. I start to pull up 4 specific named prescription drugs with the fluoroquinolone in it, and it starts to talk about, and I'm going to read it for you, it starts to talk about the damage that it does to tendons. So I get by all of the normal side effects that you would see on a prescription drug. Your diarrhea, your headaches, all that crap. And here's what I find. Warning. This medicine is associated with an increased risk of tendon problems. These include pain, swelling, inflammation, and possible breakage of tendons. And then it goes on to state how this drug that the doctor prescribed me to kill an oncoming pneumonia has had tendencies to have people tear tendons in their body. So I'm like, holy crap, are you serious? Now, I'm looking so I start to do some more research. I'm starting to read study after study how people have torn their Achilles tendon after taking this. torn rotator cuffs, and all this negative stuff and the side effects. And I'm starting to think, hold on a second. This doctor, who's a trusted source that prescribes medicine on a daily basis to people, this is what he prescribed me. Now, I'm not ignorant, I'm not stupid, so I started doing some more research. I say, I know there's other antibiotics that this guy could have prescribed me, besides one that is pretty much telling you, you're going to rupture your Achilles tendon. Congratulations. What the heck is that? Now, I deal with athletes on a daily basis. And for you that don't know, your Achilles tendon injury is a 6-month recovery process. It's a brutal rehab. It's not fun. It's worse than an ACL. I mean, but it's something you don't want to experience. So I'm reading this, I'm like, I'm pretty athletic. I work out on a daily basis. I'm very active. I can't afford to tear my Achilles. Maybe I should get off of this. So I wake up the next morning, my Achilles, both of them on both sides, are aching and they're sore. I mean, like, I started telling my wife thinks I'm a baby. She's like, come on, are you serious? It's all in your head. I'm like, you have no idea. Like, both my Achilles are sore. I'm walking around all day, like, hesitant, not trying to go elevate to my tippy toes. You know, I'm like, this is unbelievable. So anyway, make a long story short, I called this doctor, and, you know, I wasn't as nice as I could have been, but my main question for him was, why would you prescribe this when you could have prescribed this, this, or this? Is there nothing else that you could have prescribed that does not have a history of tearing tendons, rupturing tendons, breakage of tendons? I mean, seriously. So he goes on to tell me that, you know, all the lingo that they want to try to tell you. I asked him a question. I said, as a doctor, all right, I'm a coach. I'm responsible for training and transforming lives, and everything I do, I don't care if it's prescribing an exercise, talking about nutrition, I make sure that the benefits are going to outweigh the risks. If the benefits don't outweigh the risks and the risks are higher than the benefits, the reward, is it really worth it? Probably not. You can probably find a different exercise, a different prescription drug, a different way to eat, a different lifestyle, and you know what? Eliminate a lot of the negative risks. So I asked him these questions, and, you know, he went on to prescribe me a less potent, he said it was less potent, that's why I prescribed this, it was very strong. He went on to provide me a less potent antibiotic that, you know what, I don't even know if I'm going to take. I'm so pissed off now. And I'm feeling better, but my point is, I just want to bring you that today to tell you, number one, a few lessons. Do not take Avalox, or whatever the heck this is called. Don't take anything with fluoroquinolone on in it, however you pronounce that. And the main thing I want you to leave today is a few things. Number one, who are you trusting? You go to the doctor, you just think, hey, it's a doctor, I should trust what he's, you know. This is, well, hold on, let me preface something. This was one of the words of the nurse that when I called the doctor. She said, as I'm waiting on the doctor, she mentioned, well, now, this only happens in, you know, 1 out of every 100 patients. What only happens out of 1 out of, oh, you know, tendons break or rupture or burst. Are you serious? 1 out of 10 patients? Do you know how many doctors in the nation are prescribing this common antibiotic with fluoroquinolone in it on a daily basis? 1 out of every 100? That's not a great ratio to me. I don't want to be 1 out of the 100. So I started explaining that. So my point to you is today, who are you trusting? I know I'm on a little rant today, but I want you to know, who are you trusting with your life, with your advice, your mentorship, your guidance, your accountability? Who are you trusting to take care of you, your family, your kids, the people you love? I tell you that to tell you this, do your own research. I always do my own research. And you know what, if I didn't do my own research, I could have taken this, my Achilles, I would have never even known it causes tendon problems. I might have just went out and ran and did all this stuff, and I could have torn an Achilles. I don't know. You know, but my point is, do your research, and everything you do, do the risks outweigh the benefits? I mean, I take risks in life, and you have to take risks to get ahead in life. But there's a lot of things you can do that have a lot of the less risks to help you get the same benefit. So everything you do the risks outweigh the benefits? Ask yourself that. Watch out for these supplements, these prescriptions that doctors are prescribing. What the heck are doctors thinking in America today? Do your own research. I want to encourage you, do your own research on whatever it is. I don't care if you're buying a new car. I don't care if you're taking your kid to the doctor. Whatever it is, do your own research. Know why you do what you do. And then, who are you trusting? Don't just trust everybody in the world. Just because they have letters or numbers or whatever the heck they have behind their name, in front of their name, after the name, I don't care. Do your own research. And you know what? I am done.